Today in our 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, we're going to be installing the Rhino Rack Backbone Roof Rack mounting system, part number RRR-JKB1. Basically, what the backbone system does is it reinforces the structure of your Jeep's hardtop to allow you to carry more weight on your roof without interfering with the removal of your freedom panels. To do this, it has internal brackets installed around the window frames to bear the weight. It has 6 platforms which can be used to mount up to 3 Rhino Rack heavy-duty or Vortex Aero Crossbars, as well as the fit kits for them, which are sold separately. And they have a black powder coat finish to give them a long life in the elements, and it complements the look of your vehicle as well. And all the mounting hardware required is included with this kit, and there is some drilling required. Now that we've gone over some of the features of the roof rack system, let's go ahead and show you how it installs. Now our first step is we're going to have to go to our Jeep and remove our hardtop and set it onto a location where we can work on it easily. Now that we remove the hardtop for the Jeep, our next step is to assemble the support struts for the rear. They are labeled. These are going to be your bases on either side. You can tell with these screw caps here. And they are going to be labeled left or right, so just pay attention to that when you assemble these. And we're also going to have our support arms here, also labeled left and right. And you need 2 of those for each of these bases. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set these on the Jeep just for now to get the idea of what's the front and what's the rear, lining up the hole properly. And it looks like the end with the little angle to it here, that's going to be going towards the front of the vehicle. So we have our bases set down where we would see it along the vehicle here. The next step is to take our brackets here and install them onto our bases. So we'll take our M8x20 hex screw here, we'll place a lock washer and a flat washer. Then we'll take our bracket and make our installation. When installing, make sure that the circular hole at the bottom is the one that gets installed to the base, not the elongated hole at the top. We're going to be using that later. We'll start with our rear, and you just want to get these finger tight for now. You can use our Allen tool here, which is provided with the kit. And we'll do this for the other side as well. Next, we'll attach our top bracket, and these are also labeled left or right hand. These have screws built into them already. Lock washers here. Just leave that loosely installed for now. We'll repeat this for our other top brackets as well. And these can be kind of difficult to thread in at first because they're painted over. With our supports done, now we can move on to our actual hardtop, put our top brackets into place as well. You want to line these up with the edge here. You're going to notice that you can see a little bit of the top side here. And you also want to make sure that the bottom edge lines up with the top portion of this channel on the hardtop. Get an extra set of hands. We'll mark centers of our holes, and then we'll move on to the middle portion. Next, we'll take our center bracket, and this is going to line up with the edge of our rain gutter here. So line that up, and again, make sure we're at the upper lip of this channel here. And again, we'll get our extra set of hands to make the markings on our holes. Next, we'll take our template page, which is provided with the instructions. We'll set it in the gutter all the way, as you can see here. Line it up with the edge of the front, then fold it back. And these are the 2 points we want to mark here. Instead of using a marker, we're going to be using a punch to make these locations visible. With that done, we can repeat this process on the other side, then we can start our drilling. We're going to start with an 1/8 inch bit for all of our pairs of holes on both sides. Then we'll move to a 1/4 inch bit for our 2 rearmost connections. And then for the front, we'll be using a step bit. Now with the top portion, now with the front portion here, there are 2 layers, so just be sure you get through both of them. Now we can move to our 1/4 inch bit. This is only going to be for the rearmost and for our center portion. Next we can move on to our step drill bit. Now when doing this, you want to go to 18 millimeters on the top for that portion, then we go underneath and we'll drill up to a 16 millimeter hole portion. Now since this is nice and easy to drill through, you don't have to put a lot of pressure when you make these holes, so just let the step bit drill do its job. Always be sure to wear your safety goggles when you're doing this because you're going to have a lot of dust coming down. We'll test it out. Everything seems to be working okay. Now we can move on to our next steps. Next we can start installing our foam pads onto our brackets. We'll start with our frontmost ones, flipping them upside down like you see here, and then taking our pads, popping out the centers. And these are adhesive on the bottom, so they'll stick in place, and inserting them like so. We'll do this for both sides. Or for both brackets, I should say. Next we'll move to our center brackets. Moving the longer strips here, placing them and finally we'll go to our rearmost. Now that we're underneath the hardtop, we'll put those support struts that we put together earlier and set them into place on these 2 points on the inside. Line them up, set them on those 2 points. Then we can start adjusting it to fit around the drilled holes that we had installed earlier. Next we'll put our brackets into place, pushing our screws through. We'll do this for the rear and the middle portions, and then we'll line them up with our brackets on the inside and start making our connection. Now with them in place, we can lift up our brackets here, install them over the screws, and put on our flat washers and our lock nuts. We'll just get them finger tight for now. And we'll repeat this for our other brackets as well. Now we can start tightening our brackets down to the support brackets we just installed. We'll have someone on the outside with the Allen key holding these in place while we go to the inside with our ratchet and tighten it down. Next, we'll take our 1/4 inch drill bit and drill our final hole in the top rear bracket since it's secure now. We use the bracket as a template. And we'll do this on both sides. Now we can install our bolts into the holes we just drilled all the way through on both sides, and then connect them on the other side with the lock nut and washer. All right, our next step is to take our included Allen key and then our ratchet, and we'll have someone hold it from the top while we tighten this portion down. All right, we'll repeat this process for the other side as well. Now we can start tightening down our stabilizer brackets that we installed earlier. Now we can repeat this for other locations. So we'll take our final brackets, set those into place on both sides, and then we'll go underneath and install our brackets there, as well as our hardware to keep these in place. The brackets we're going to be installing are here and here. We'll also be needing to put a pad on the bottoms of them. Stick that in place, on the bottom like so. Then we'll have our screws, lock washers, and regular washers to attach to our brackets that we just put through. We'll repeat this for the other side. Next, we'll come to the center of the vehicle and we'll unwrap this portion here. Pull back the hook and loop straps, unzip it, so we can get to these 3 bolts here. Next, we want to remove these to put our bracket into place. Now we can set our bracket in place right now. Just use that same existing hardware. All right, now we can zip this back up and repeat this for the other side. Now that we have everything installed, we can go ahead and set our cover back onto our Jeep. Now with our hardtop reinstalled, ready to install a roof rack system and hit the road. And there you have it for the Rhino Rack Backbone Roof Rack mounting system on our 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.